the cruising is fine, it's enjoyable, unless maybe you have turbulence, you know, when you are in the clouds and they say there's turbulence, we are at this altitude and the plane is doing cuckoo 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 cuckoo. That is also very scary. Hi Jastel fam, welcome back. If you are a subscriber, thank you for coming back. Thanks so much for your support. If you are new, welcome to the family. We are glad to have you here. Guys, today let's talk about traveling. First time traveling outside GH. First time traveling outside GH. You would notice from my previous videos that I said I had a scholarship and I had to study outside. So now let's embark on the journey of leaving Ghana to the destination of study. Guys, the excitement wasn't here. When I had a scholarship, I was so happy. I had mixed feelings because, you know, I was going to leave my parents to a foreign land for the first time, but I was also excited about the prospects in the foreign land, you know, being away from home, traveling outside Ghana. It was a huge achievement for me and I was so excited about it. Now, so during the preparation, my parents got me some warm clothing because yes, I think I went during the winter time. My parents got me some warm clothing and, you know, the day finally arrived. I bought some Milo provisions. I didn't want to go and then not have these things, you know. Oh, imagine cornflakes and stuff like that. I didn't even know what I was thinking, but yes, I bought these things. Now, finally to the D-Day, guys. Come and see me. I wore heels. Who does that? I wore heels. Guys, it's not advisable to travel wearing heels. No, I won't advise you to do that. Being my first time, I didn't know. I wore heels and some material made top and the trousers. I was really feeling myself wearing my heel, walking I was really feeling myself, but I wouldn't advise that. It's better to travel comfortable, because when I got to my destination, my legs gave up on me. My legs were swollen. Luckily for me, I had sandals in my hand luggage, so I changed when I got to Manchester. It was really painful, you know. My legs got swollen because I sat for a long time and the shoes were new. The mistake I made was that the shoes were new shoes, you know, so they were really tight and my legs became swollen, so it wasn't comfortable. Now let's get back to Kotoka International Airport. Guys, the check-in was easy, but for the fact that I had exceeded my luggage allowance. Okay, so you are given, when you check your ticket, you are given an allowance. Maybe if you have 2 bags, it's a baggage allowance. The number, they stipulate the kilograms you can take. Okay, so I exceeded my allowance and I had to pay for extra luggage. I wasn't having enough money on me, so I delayed a bit. I needed to call my parents outside. That time they weren't allowing, you know, families to come in when you are checking in, and it wasn't the new Terminal 3. It was the old airport, so they weren't allowing family to come in, and I had to call my parents outside to pay for the extra luggage. It's always advisable to travel light. I wouldn't want anyone traveling and paying for extra luggage, because it's like you're paying for something you didn't plan for. So if you had a budget, maybe this, I'm taking this amount of meat to take me from this time to this time, and you're paying out of it. It's not the best. It's not the best at all. So after checking in and everything, it was time. Locating my boarding gate wasn't really a problem, because I think when you're traveling, once you can read, it's easy. Of course, there are some very big airports that look very complicated. You know, you didn't really know where to pass and what to do. If you find yourself in a situation like that, ask questions. I think there are security personnel positioned at vantage points where you can ask questions. Don't be shy. If not, you get lost. Some of these airports are really, really big. Ask questions. Make sure you are comfortable with what you are doing and where you are going. Ask questions. Know your directions. If you can't read and understand what you are doing or where you are going, ask questions. It's always best to ask questions and be sure. If not, you get lost, you miss your flight, and you'll be miserable. If you get to those places that look complicated, you just have to look for the signages, exits, boarding gates, this, that. Yes, that's why I said if you can read, it's a bit easy. When I got to Dubai, it was a bit complicated, but as I mentioned, or as I said, once you can read, you can find your way. If you cannot read, ask for help. It is very important to ask for help. Yes, so mine here, it wasn't really difficult locating my bearings. It wasn't difficult. So I got to my boarding gate. We sat for a while, and then finally we boarded. Let me fill you in on my first experience flying. Oh my goodness. Well, the taxiing process of the plane, when you move slowly, the taxiing process wasn't scary. It wasn't a big deal. It is when it starts climbing, you know, it climbs steady. It climbs steady like that, with the let me say, the nose of the airplane in the air like that, till it gets to a certain altitude or height, then it stabilizes. So that process of climbing, mine oh my, it's really, really scary. It's scary. Then when you are cruising, the cruising is, you know, when you're just traveling, that is so comfortable. You wouldn't even know you are up there, you know, up high in the sky. It's so comfy. That wasn't really a big deal. The cruising is fine. It's enjoyable. Unless maybe you have turbulence, you know, when you are in the clouds and they say there's turbulence, we are at this altitude and the plane is doing cuckoo, 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 cuckoo. That is also very scary, because you are somewhere, you don't even know what will happen, you know. But of course, you don't travel with that mindset that, hey, maybe what if the plane falls down or something. No, you don't think like that. Just think positive. Just think positive. Then another scary moment is the descent, when you get to your destination and the plane is descending. When it comes down, it's like your heart is falling out. It's like your heart comes down a bit. It comes down as the plane drops. Your heart drops with it. Yes, that's also scary. And the landing, when it touches the ground and you hear cuckoo, that is also very, very scary. When it touches the ground like that, the landing is also scary. So I think the most enjoyable part of flying is the cruising part, where you are just in the air chilling, you know. So you are even slept off. I slept off during that time. I slept off. You wouldn't even know. You sleep off and you think you are in your bed, or you are just on land sleeping. That's the fun part of the journey for me. In my experience, that was the fun part of the journey. That was my first time flying. Okay, that's the experience. But comparing subsequent journeys, I think the first time was, because it's new, first time is really new, so that is where you have your fears, but you overcome them with subsequent flights. But one thing I've realized is that flying with these international airlines or the bigger airplanes is more comfortable and less scarier than flying with these domestic airplanes. The domestic ones, it's like they are so small and so light. It's like you have a heavy substance, you know, and a light paper or something. The wind can easily just blow the paper. That's how it feels. With the domestic flight, the least thing you feel it. Maybe you are flying at an altitude and they say, oh, there's turbulence. It's like the whole place is coming down with the domestic flight. That with the international airline, the bigger airplanes, you won't really feel it that much. You won't feel it that much. So like that's the difference. That's the difference. Guys, let me know your first experience. Let me know your first experiences on an air flight. If you have any suggestions, any questions, anything, just hit us up on Instagram. The link is in my bio. Just hit us on Instagram, send us a DM. So much for watching. Kindly like our videos and subscribe to our channel for more interesting